lock up in, I'm your number one fan. Showtime. Hit me with that backstage passing, you love, you love, you love. Showtime. Let's make it spectacular, spectacular. Showtime, baby, it's showtime.
Hard work and dedication, no days off. You gotta go get it, cause they ain't gonna give it to you. We never have our hand out, we had our plan out. We don't ever try to fit in, cause we already stand out. I am your host, Hollywood Mac, and I'm joined by my brother.
Tyler Meyer, T-Rock, Todd, Rock, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you feel comfortable with calling me, man, that's what I am, man. So we here, man, we here.
Yes, sir. So we got a special guest today, man. This guest is a father, a brother, a son, an uncle, a friend, an actor, a film director, film producer, a writer, a graduate of New York Film Academy. He's been in countless independent films, television pilots, and theater productions. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Vision Podcast, Pete Johnson.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening?
Yeah,
I'm
sir.
happy to be here. I appreciate the rundown. That was a lot of slashes, but you know, yeah.
Welcome
Come
to
on,
Club
man.
Bar.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
listen, when you doing your thing, you doing your thing, man. Yo, listen, man, salute, man. Them your accolades,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you,
and
bro.
and I left some out.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
gonna get into them though.
Yeah,
Right? We gonna
for
get
sure,
into 'em,
for
you feel
sure,
me?
man.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
But how was everybody? Well, first, y'all ready to pod?
Ready to pod,
Let's
man.
do
Everybody
it.
energy
Let's do
good?
it. Oh, man,
Man,
we
come on,
flowing.
man. I'm
All right.
always
How's
ready, man.
everybody mental health? Everybody mental health good? Nobody feel
I
crazy
got
today? You
no,
feel good?
not today. Maybe yesterday, but not today.
You know,
Yeah.
my mental health go in and out sometimes, man.
All right.
Go in and out
All right.
sometimes.
Do I need to worry about anything?
You don't got to worry about nothing, man.
Ah, you
you know what
okay?
I'm saying? Listen, I prayed about it. I left it in God's hands.
All right, that's bad. The
That's all
master.
you can do.
That's all
You
you
know
can
what I'm
do, man. All right, how was everybody weekend? Everybody weekend was
You know
cool?
what? My weekend, man. My weekend was good and terrible, man. And you know, the latter of the weekend kind of helped my terrible.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, how was your weekend, Pete?
Busy. You know, I'm hustling right now, so I'm on stage doing a stage play.
Let's go.
And yeah, I was shooting a movie, so my week has been crazy. I've been shooting a film during the day and then performing on stage at night.
Let's work,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Let's work.
Let's get to it,
It
man.
was crazy. Yeah, crazy week.
My weekend was good. Today kind of a little rough because, you know, today happy heavenly birthday to my wife Liz, who passed away in 2020.
Happy birthday.
Mhm.
to cancer.
Liz.
You know what I mean? Man, I woke up today with it was a little heavy, man. It's crazy because, you know, like I said, this being the 5th year and all, I don't know why today was so hard, but it was hard. You know what I mean? And, you know, I wrote her a little, you know, personal message on Facebook, man. We posted a picture. And it was just seeing that picture, man. It really hit me, man. It's like, you know, dealing with a lot. You know, I know Meyer, you know, we're going to get into it. You know, I know your uncle just passed, you know, a couple weeks ago. My cousin Tone passed. You know what I mean? It's just been, for me, it's been a rough 5 years. You know what I'm saying? I've lost a lot of people, man. You know, my grandfather, you know, my cousin Munch, one of my best friends, Dave Felder, wifey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been crazy, man. You know what I mean? So I just want to say to everybody out there, man, who was dealing with a loss, you know what I'm saying, especially a close loved one, man, you know, I understand your pain, man. You got to give it to the King, man. You got to give it to God, man. And he'll take care of you, man, because he definitely took care of me, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like, I never felt a hurt and loss like when I lost her, man. But it really made me understand, you know, not to take anybody for granted. You know what I'm saying? It's like, cause we think we got all this time that we don't really have, man. And it's a constant reminder every time somebody leave here that, yo, your time is coming, and we don't have this time that we think we have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say, man, to everybody out there, man, you know, I understand what you're going through, man, you know, and man, don't take nobody for granted. If you got any beefs going on with anybody, you know, family members, close loved ones, man, dead it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Make it right. You know what I'm saying? Because life is short, man.
That's right.
That's true. That's message right there. That's true.
Word,
True
word.
story, man.
Word.
So yeah, big ups to you because today's a big day for you. You know what I'm saying? So, kudos to you.
Yeah.
Respect for being here,
Word.
sharing your story.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean? And happy heavenly birthday.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
Talk
Talk about Django a little bit, Mac.
People don't realize that there is no time limit on grieving, on mourning for a loved one.
Word.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I think people, when they talk about it, and it depends on who they're around, people be like, that was like 10 years ago. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't put a timeline on that.
Can't.
I mean,
Everybody grieves differently. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
I think that some people's process, some people, especially during the moment of it, they don't grieve because there's so much business and stuff to handle, right? So many things that you have to do, organize family members and all that stuff. And you haven't taken that time for yourself. And that could be a year, sometimes 2 years down the line.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Everybody kind of grieves differently.
man, you know what? Why we talking about it? It just hit me, man. Like, we lost a lot of family members, but he and I, we haven't lost a parent. You lost a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
So
a hard pain.
How do you deal with that?
My father, I was blessed, growing up to have a dad in the household, you know what I'm saying, and kind of keep me and my brother together and in line. And my father wasn't sick or anything, man. It was a sudden death, and that was like, when you lose the matriarch or you lose the superhero, that belongs in your family, it's
Talk
like,
about it.
it's, you got to regroup it because it's like, what do we do now? You know what I mean?
Right.
And you have to, find other ways to allow that person to live on, and that's kind of what I did. I was like, I still channel my father all the time. You know what I'm saying? I channel him. I wear his old jewelry, whenever I want to feel close to him, so, and I think that, when you look at the person that you've become, I see a lot of my father's qualities. So I'm grateful for his presence, even though you never get over it.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to my uncle Jackie Wilson. And I think he had some heart trouble. He had pancreatic cancer, but I just found this out after.
Wow.
Like he didn't tell nobody. It's my dad's brother, but my dad knew. You know what I'm saying? And it was rough.
Yeah.
But I think my Uncle Jack knew that his days was numbered because he told my dad a few days before, I left my entire estate for you to be in charge of it.
Wow.
And my dad was like, okay, cool. Why we talking about that now? Like you ain't going nowhere no time soon. He just bought his wife a new vehicle, Mercedes. He just had everything in order. You know what I mean? And it's just like, they always say, and I've been hearing this since I was younger, that, when you in line with God, you will know, even though you don't know, but you just know that it's around the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's rough.
And, to everybody out there, man, like you said, man, tomorrow not promise. If it's in your heart and God put it on your heart to drop by somebody's house, if you're in the facility, pick up the phone, send a text just to check on somebody, just to say what's up. It can be a 30-second, phone call. You got to do that because there was times I seen people and I threw my hand up in passing, driving.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got a bowl tomorrow. I'm going to see him tomorrow. And I got a phone call 3 hours after I beat the horn and kept going that person died.
Yeah. It's crazy because I think about, remember, our guy Pete. Remember that?
Oh man, I saw. You know what? I think it was his birthday recently, right?
Because a couple of days before he had passed, remember, when we gave him that ride where he was going.
Yeah.
And then that same weekend, he gave me. I still got the bottle of liquor he gave me, a little personal bottle of liquor he gave me that day. I keep it in the, I keep it right in my shelf in the kitchen, man. But it was just like that. We just kicking and talking. And then who would have thought that weekend he'd be gone?
Listen, bro. That was the next day.
Yeah, it was like the next day.
Because he came and got a cut. We dropped him off. I flew to Atlanta the next morning, and I flew to Atlanta Friday morning. Saturday morning, I got the call. I got woke up.
Yeah.
and just messed my whole trip up.
Word. Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah, that was wild, bro. I saw somebody posted him. I think it was his birthday recently.
Yeah.
You know, somebody, and I saw his picture, and I was, you know, it hit me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh my God, Pete is not here no
Yeah.
more. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man,
Like,
it's-
you know,
It's crazy, man.
It almost comes to the point to whereas like I become numb to it until I got the call about my uncle. It's just like, because that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's just like my brother called me. He was like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm all right." I'm like, "What's good?" He's like, "You sitting down for this one?" So all I just said was who, because
Yeah.
anytime you start the conversation off with that, I already know what's coming behind it.
And that's how I used to be, because every time you would call me at like 6 a.m, somebody died.
wow.
So I would hate seeing this. I mean, I
Yeah,
always love when he
yeah.
called me, but I like when he called me around noon.
It's a
Because I
fear.
know when he called me at 6 a.m, somebody gone, man.
Mm.
And I mean, I remember you called me about cousin Jermaine. I remember you calling me about Mario. Every time you would call, and it'll always be early in the morning. I'm like, man, not again, man. And same thing like when my man Adam brother Dre
Yeah.
called me early in the morning. It was about
Mm.
Davis. Always like early on. I'm like, what is this about early morning?
Mhm.
My wife passed. First thing in the morning. It's
Right.
like always early mornings, man. Like, when I get them early morning calls, I always be hesitant. Like, man,
Yeah.
do I want to pick this
It's
up?
PTSD.
You know what I mean? Word.
Yeah,
It's
for real.
real.
PTSD with that, man.
Yeah,
It's real.
It's you know, it's something, man. But you know, for the people that's here, we have a purpose. We still have work to do.
That's a fact.
So you know what I'm saying? We gotta work with each other. We gotta, sharpen iron. We gotta, help each other out, man. We gotta
Yeah.
build each other up. Because I'll tell you something, man. Culturally, we last on the totem pole when it comes to doing stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And working together, and just like, we don't have to be family to do something good. We don't have to
Yeah.
be best friends to do something good. It's just should be for the bigger goal.
For the
You know what I
betterment.
mean?
And also, I'm a big advocate in telling your brother that you. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man, I love y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we
love
go
you back,
story,
man.
true
We- we-
story.
we go-
Listen,
Love
you know,
you
we
we
back.
got
go back.
years in this. Of
We
course.
got years of friendship, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I know we got you today as a guest because I want people to know your story, but I know you a homie.
Yeah,
We all
right,
homies.
right,
So
Yeah.
it's like, but I want y'all to know, I mean, I love y'all, man.
Man,
Jamel,
love you
I
back,
love you, man.
Yo,
Love you back.
for real. Love y'all
No, for
boys,
real,
man.
It's
For
real
real.
talk, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
important. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
You know what I mean? For real, man. Because you never know when it's gonna be you, me. You know what I mean? That's just how life is. So you just never know. I tell people all the time, we got that birth date, we got that death date.
Mm.
It's what we do in between. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
gotta cherish the in between.
Yes,
We
sir.
only got a certain amount of in between.
Right.
So what we doing? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I don't want this thing to be all somber. So let me change transitions real quick. I gotta ask y'all. I gotta tell y'all a story, and I want y'all opinion. I want y'all to give me the real. Like y'all
True
homies, y'all
story.
gonna give me the real. So I got a homie, right, who got 2.5 daughters, right? And I
Half?
he got
Half, though?
got 2.5 daughters, right? Now, I'm gonna tell y'all why 2.5 daughters.
Is the daughters connected?
It's a
Is this-
stepdaughter. It's a
Listen,
stepdaughter.
Nah. He got a son, but there's 2 daughters. But he got he got a son that might be,
Oh,
playing with them letters.
okay.
Oh, I get it.
okay.
2.5, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I
so-
got a story too.
So here it is. So it's my homie, right? He was always athletic, football, basketball, coach and the whole nine. And it's like he a little delusional when it comes to
Oh,
coming
yeah,
junior.
seeing. Yeah. He can't. He don't want to accept that.
Because I seen it early.
Yeah.
I seen it early in Little Man. And I just want to put this disclaimer out there. I don't have anything against the community. I don't want, because they like a gang, man. You know what I'm saying? I get you canceled. You know what I mean? We're a fresh new podcast, and listen, Ty love everybody, right? But I got to keep it funky. Like, for me, it was very important for me to raise heterosexual boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, listen, I love ladies. I want my sons to love the ladies.
Right.
Yeah.
You raising men.
I'm raising men. So boom, my man, I would always come around and I would see little man because he playing with the daughters and stuff, And I'm watching him how he playing with the dolls and stuff, and he doing the hair on the dolls better than the daughters is, and I'm like,
yeah, you know what it is. It's
and
coming.
this was the
He don't just want to do hair.
listen. I'm gonna tell. So I'm thinking it might have been a phase, or whatever the case may be. But this is the thing. This is the kicker. Me and you always talk about this. And for y'all out there that want to know if your son is treading the lines of maybe being holding one of them letters, I'm about to break it down to you. If he's putting S's on things that don't deserve S's,
Come on, man. Come on, man.
he could be.
Can you give me an example?
No, I'm gonna give you an example.
Oh.
The little man, all the time, he'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Robinsons." You know what I'm saying? Or he'll be like, "Hey, Todd." No, little man, I'm one person. I'm plural.
Do you got an S on Todd's?
You know what I'm
Is it
saying?
an S on Todd's on your name?
Listen, no, I mean, I'm not plural. I'm singular. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm not two people.
Mr. Robinson.
He put me plural. Like, I'm two people.
Right.
And I'm saying, you know, I'm losing weight now, but I was a big nigga, but I never, I'm one person, still one person. You are he, Mr. Robinson. Hey, Todd. No, little man. I'm Todd. Hard D. Pause. Hard D to him. Pause. And my man, you know, he delusional, and I hate to see it. And it's like, yo, he like, yeah, man, you know, I'm about to have him playing AAU and football. I'm like, nah.
He's not. Ain't not happening.
He's gonna be playing with Boss, but it's not gonna be Wilson or Spalding. He's gonna be playing with Boss for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, Boss is in the future.
Did you see him playing
Just
AAU
not-
sports?
Huh?
Did you see him playing AAU
No,
sports?
but my man, because he was
He forcing it.
He hoping. Now now hold on. I'm gonna tell you that this one homie was young.
Okay.
Now he a freshman now. He in high school,
Okay.
and it's worse. The S's is harder.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
You seen
The
him?
sass is crazy, and my man still think he's like, yo, what you think about, man? I'm thinking about trying to getting ready for AAU. This, and I'm looking like, nah, you're not. It's not happening.
Wow.
But it's like, should I? In my mind, I'm saying this. I don't want to hurt my mans, but I'm like, yo, what I want to ask y'all advice is, would it be too harsh for me? Because my delivery could be a little too much sometimes. So would it be too harsh for me if I'm like, yo, fam, snapping the reality, fam?
I think about it like this, right?
Yeah. Give it to me, man. Give it to me real.
Even like you said, you know what I'm saying? The Bible said if you have an ought with the person, you go to them personally. You don't do it publicly. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like you have this conversation, just you and him. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's else around. So it's like, yeah, anybody's going to get offended because you're talking about one of theirs, but the truth hurts. So it's just like, but later on, he's going to receive it and accept it and say thank you. And it's just like, all you can do is, as a father, he got to talk to his kid, or he got to see what's going on, or he got to talk to the kid. But they got to have a family discussion.
Right.
But if the kid gravitates to that, the best way to help that kid is, you have to accept it, but then, get counseling, get help, and just see where it go. You
I was kind of in that position at one point. I'm a father of 2 boys.
Yeah.
And sometimes as a father, I try to give my son space. You know what I mean? Like, just because I'm respecting him, I want to give him, and then if he gives me any reason to like go through his things or something like that, for distrust. So I give him his space. But, I went through his phone one time. He was on punishment. I said, let's see what's going on in here. You know what I mean? And, this Japanese anime is something else. I don't know, these cartoons and all that stuff, man. It's like pornographic cartoons and stuff.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But some of the things, kind of, I was shocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I hadn't had a conversation with my son about this, right? Now, keep in mind, he's a kid. At the time, he's like, maybe 11, 12. Yeah. And I know he's not doing anything, but that doesn't mean he's not thinking about it.
That's the time to have the conversation.
So absolutely. But here's the thing, like, I seen some other pictures and I'm like, yo, maybe is he on the other side? I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I did the same thing. I got like a group of fellas. I'm like, yo, anybody ever had this conversation before? I'm texting and I'm trying to get, and everybody's like, yo, so I sat him down, and I think the main thing was like, he wasn't, but I had to make him feel comfortable and like, listen, I'm your dad. I'm gonna love you regardless, right? You're my son,
right.
However you decide, I'm hoping, but whatever
Right.
you decide, I'm still gonna love you and be
Right,
here.
right.
And then I think it was like, even though I had that conversation, he eventually started to come into his own and more
Yeah.
masculinity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't like he was. I think it was just the cartoons, man. The
Yeah.
cartoons and stuff. These pornographic cartoons.
Kinda
They
like
make
mess
him.
with his mind.
Oh
Yeah.
man, for
Yeah,
real.
it's crazy because and it's like, I don't want to get too deep, but I do feel like they targeting the kids.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's like, it's really important for me, man. Like, I just can't raise no ball ticklers, man. Like, yo, it's important to me, man. And, I just, that's extreme for me. I don't think I could be able to stomach it, Mac. You know what I'm saying?
What? Let me
I
say
just don't
this.
think I
though.
could do it.
Let me say, man. Working in the arts industry, bro.
Yeah.
It's very common, right?
Yeah.
And I think that what I've learned over the years of kind of working in the film industry and in and out of theaters and stuff is like they're people. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's just
right.
and you learn to love a person, and even recently I had to navigate someone that was a guy but identifies as a woman.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I be messing up the pronouns. I do. Like, you know what I mean?
It's too
It's
much.
new for me. It's
Too,
new.
it's too much.
Right?
My,
So-
my thing is this.
It's too much.
What's your name? That's what I'm gonna call you.
Well,
Word.
that's
What's your
so-
mama and daddy name you? Josh? I'm not calling you Jennifer, Josh. You're Josh.
but it's
But
just
you,
like,
you know what it is. So, but here's the thing: if Jennifer wants to be identified, so where I would mess up at is I'd be like, "Come on, bro." I'd be like, "Oh man,
That means
my
just-
bad, sorry." Like
Yo, I had to talk
because
on
it's
here.
intuition.
Yo, P, I had to talk.
what they wanted?
Yeah, you have to refer.
Sis, like, come on,
Yeah,
sis.
their pronouns. Her pronouns is her and she, and she wants to be referred to that. But like me, just kind of being in the moment, I'm
Yeah.
like, bro. And I'm like, oh, that's just So I had to. You got to apologize.
Yeah.
and-
Yo, a couple
You know?
episodes, I told the story. I was gonna fight a transgender. I was gonna have a fight with transgender tried to rob me, man. I told you, gotta watch it. I was gonna fight a transgender, like, because you still a dude, man. And then I would have respected it if he would have just, you know what I mean? But he tried to play me on getting my money back, man. So it's like, now I gotta be disrespectful. I don't have no pronouns for you, sir.
Sorry.
I need my bread, sir, because you playing with me, but
Oh,
You
man.
know.
Yeah, the messed up thing is when they like that, they try to bully you, and then
yeah.
when they done turned your volume up, now they playing the victim.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't do that.
no, don't do it.
Don't do that.
We
Yeah.
ain't gonna do that.
Or what about you ever been beat up by a stud though? Okay. Keep playing around and whoop.
You done fought a stuff?
No, I ain't never fought no stud. I'm just
Oh, I
saying,
was
but
about
like,
to say.
I know some that's like
Yeah.
that can get busy.
Yo, that's a whole nother thing, man. 'Cause
That
I,
can get
I, just
busy,
had,
bro.
I just had a conversation with a friend, and they used to be involved in life and stuff like that. And I had to ask you because this always plagued me, and I don't want to, I try to keep things. I ain't trying to go too graphic, but I always wanted to know, like, if the stud got a fade like me, rock J's like me, outfit like me,
Yeah.
why not just get a me? Why not just get a dude? And then I gotta say this, man. Just forgive me out there, But Liz had a friend, that was a part of the community. It's too many letters. It's a new letter every week, so I can't even
They
keep
get
up
it.
at this point. They got the whole alphabet at this point. But she used to wear like a strap on.
All day long.
All day though.
Oh, wait a minute.
Like, yeah, all day, like chilling, like how we kicking it right now. She had a strap pistol on. She had a
Yo.
strap PC on chilling.
Yo.
And I had to ask her, 'cause, at that time I was super ignorant. God been dealing with me, so I'm better now. But back then, I ain't had no filter. I asked her because Liz had told me she did that. I said, yo, why you rock this strap on? Just chilling though. At work. You at work.
If you ain't working.
You at work. And you at Home Depot with the joint on.
But I'm saying,
She said, cause it makes me feel more masculine. Yo, and I'm thinking like, your girlfriend, why don't she just want a real swammy? You know what I'm saying? Why is she going? I mean, why not just have a dude at this point? Wear a strap on like a dude, fade like a dude, Jordans like a dude, sweatsuit like a dude. Why not just get a dude?
Yo,
I'm just confused. Don't that confuse you?
yo, I got a funny.
Pete,
I get it.
are you confused though?
I get. You know.
It confuses
I
me.
got
don't
something
know.
funny to add to
Mill,
that.
do that confuse you?
Listen, I got something funny to add to that. Now, I wasn't part of the conversation, but you know, they talk loud, they want to be heard.
Yeah.
I was somewhere and they was having a conversation, and it was a stud and then the other joint or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And they was just having a conversation, and she was like, "Oh yeah, y'all, you know, we pregnant." She was like, "Yo, I've been tearing that thing
my
up."
Goodness, man.
And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, "No, she been cheating."
Come on, man.
Did you really think you let something in there? Did you?
She was saying we pregnant and
Yeah.
she been tearing something up.
That's what,
What?
she said. She said, "I've been tearing her
Oh,
up. We done got
come
pregnant."
on, man.
I was like,
All right, man. Let's move on.
"Thank you."
Let's move on. Let's move on. I can't and I shan't. I shan't and I can't. I won't go no further with this conversation. No, but I was telling Mac, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when he told me he was coming, I'm like, yo, you know, I know you. Mac know you.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we started this podcast, you know, in going back to because we had a pre-episode before we launched our first episode. And we pretty much talked about why we was doing this. Because a lot of people was intrigued with my story, like far as, you know, writing songs and things of that nature. And then a lot of people didn't know how heavy I was with it.
Right,
so I really,
right.
I really wanted to create a space where people can know what's up. Like, yo, don't sleep.
Right. No,
If
pin
you-
game,
if you-
pin game been
If
always
you
been crazy.
forgot, I'm one of the ones.
True story.
So I like to have, like yourself, I like to have them ones on
I
here.
got it.
So a lot of people may pass you up or walking by them and they don't really know who they passing by. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got
So
you.
I just want people like yourself. We just want to create a space where people can come up here and tell their story, so we can like give you your
Yeah.
flowers and your just due, man. So, first question, man, I want to get into is how was your childhood, man? Like, take us back to let's hop in the DeLorean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's you know what I'm saying? You Marty McFly right now.
True
Take us
story.
back to, young Pete growing up. How was your childhood? Was you Ricky Schroeder, Silver Spoon? Like, how was it?
Yeah. No, I had a great childhood, man. I was the only kid on the street with really two parents, you know what I'm saying, in the house. My parents were successful. And my father was strict. Mac and I grew up on the same street together. I've known you since I was maybe 10 years old. I got stories with
I
him.
thought you was 6.
I might have been. It was, I was young, man,
Yeah.
when we, started growing up together. But yeah, my father was strict, you know what I mean? He was a business guy, but growing up for me, it was more so about sports, and all that stuff. Every kid kind of has athletic dreams in the beginning. And then when you're not, for me, I didn't grow to be 6 feet and 250. You know what I mean? So you look at other talents and, during that time, it was more so everybody was doing the music thing. And I just, I've always been a creative person, you know what I mean? So, just like everybody in the neighborhood, I'm out there rapping just like the rest of the kids, but, I felt like I was better than a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I kind of cultivated early on a career in music, and I had, experienced some success. I had been on tour.
Don't jump ahead, man.
Okay, yeah,
You know
cool.
We want to stay in childhood.
I got
man.
you. I got
You
you.
know what
I
I'm
got
saying?
you.
You know what I mean? Let me
Yeah.
do my job, man.
I got it. You're right. No, man, but yeah. So it was kind of focused on that early,
Yeah.
sports and music and
Yeah.
and kind of experiencing the culture. For me, I was always a kid. I didn't fit in a lot, as in my early age because I grew up where me and Mac it was the east side of Buffalo. But I went to school. I went to, private schools. My parents sent me to private schools. So I was kind of always in between worlds, right?
Okay,
Because in the hood, I'm not hood enough. You know what I'm saying? And, when I go to school, I'm one black kid out of 100. You know what I'm saying? So it was always kind of like an identity thing to try to find out who I was, and I kind of dealt with that until later on in life, until I started being comfortable in my own skin. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
yeah.
So from the age of 7 to like 13, what was your go-to sport?
Oh man, we played football. No, you know what? We played let me tell you, basketball. Mac had the hoop in the back of his yard, and I had one in my yard, right? So like,
Mac hoop?
oh, Mac could ball.
Oh, man.
Mac, yo, listen, Mac
Come
could
on,
ball.
man.
No. I'm gonna tell you, it was like
Come
it was a
on,
very
man.
Mac
See,
wasn't.
don't be
It wasn't.
disrespectful.
Listen. It wasn't like a very fast dribble. It was like a very slow, controlled dribble. But like he had all the and Mac could hoop.
Mac could hoop?
Yo, I promise you. Promise you.
I don't even know why I asked that question because now he gonna tell me how he gonna have these,
Mac didn't. He
I ain't
didn't
gonna
play.
say
He didn't play
nothing.
like
You
no
a
high
hater.
school or nothing like
You a
that.
hater.
But like backyard, Mac, man,
He was the backyard. He was that dude in the backyard.
Yeah,
let
true
me
story.
correct both of y'all. Did play organized ball and we won championships. But go ahead and continue.
Did you play for McKinley?
Didn't I tell you? That quick, he came up with a story.
Right? Did you?
You see how
you
quick
didn't
that
play?
was?
Hold
I
on.
checked the
You see how
books on
quick-
you, boy.
Hold on.
I checked the books.
Let's hold on. Let's
What
go.
team?
Let's
What
go back.
team?
Let's
What
go
team?
back. I played.
High
I played.
school?
Hold on.
It might
I
have
played
been
in
some
leagues.
camps. Yeah,
What
some leagues.
league?
Yeah,
What
like the
league?
Randys or something.
No. I played in the
Boys Club, YMCA. What you
St.
did?
Peter Claver League. I played
Huh? I
in the
never heard. Say it
Strivers.
again, slow. Say it again, so I don't even know.
Yo, listen.
Where's
I
that
played in a
located?
lot of leagues, man. Turner Carroll High School.
No,
man.
the one you just said, the St.
St.
Peter.
Peter
who?
Claver, man.
Where was that at?
Turner Carroll High School, man.
How? So St. Peter was at Turner Carroll? I'm confused. So it was two. Come on, the team had the opposite name. Get out of here, man. See what you started?
I know.
I told you he was gonna come up with
Listen,
one.
hold on,
I think he
Imagine
baited
it.
me into that
No,
because
listen.
he knew we played
Now you
basketball.
gonna tell me later he knew Kobe. He played against Kobe at AAU. Like you ain't never play AAU. Don't do it.
Yo, listen.
Yo, come on,
That's
man.
on another segment, man.
Alright.
Where we can talk about me. It ain't about me. It's
Yes,
about
about
I get it.
exercising,
It's
man.
National
I
Peak
get it.
Day,
I
man.
get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's see this nigga out of
you
it.
brought me in
Let's
it.
see this
You
nigga
brought
come
me
out
in
of
it.
it, man.
Oh man, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so because I got a B and C to the first.
He wasn't
question.
finished. He didn't finish
Oh.
because
No, yeah,
No,
just
no.
not basketball, football. You know, I mean,
All right.
I played organized football for a long time, high school football and all that stuff. You know, and then basketball. You know, it was just us, the kids on
Don't
the
refer
street.
to him no more.
Oh yeah, you're right. Just the
Leave it-
kids on the
No,
street.
He can
Remind
refer
me.
to me. I
Dog,
just won't
Kids
refer
I
on
to
the
wanna-
street.
You
What we
wanna-
what we used to do sometimes, like, so it would be because me and him had the only two hoops on the street. So if they couldn't hoop at my house, we had to go to his house.
Okay,
You know what I
okay.
mean? So like, you know, and it would be times we wouldn't be home and we come home and the
Yeah.
kids was in the backyard hooping.
What kind of hoop he had? 'Cause you know he gonna tell me his had gold ropes,
No,
He
it was
had a
just like
gold
the
net on his
the
platinum
basic.
backboard. You know,
Nah.
His joint, I know his joint. He
I had
had
the
the most
glass. I
exclusive
had the
rim.
glass. It was like the NBA joint, but
So
it was,
everybody else had the wooden or fiber. You had the real like glass.
listen, the
joint.
whole
the
neighborhood.
NBA had.
Yeah.
The whole
You had
yeah,
NBA.
yeah,
Cool.
the whole neighborhood came over there. The whole neighborhood, bro.
We did.
Okay.
We
The whole
did.
neighborhood.
We
Like
did.
people, listen, it got to the point to where people ring the door, but like, bro, you coming out? I'm like, nah, I got homework to do today. Yo, but can we hoop?
Yo, for real.
Like I'm talking about like 15 people outside, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, listen, go ahead, man. You gotta use your own ball. Like
right.
man. And then I'm like, yo. And then I come outside. I'm like, they're like, man, I thought you was studying. I was like, man, y'all making all this noise, man. I must just study later, man. Come on,
Right.
let's get these 3-4 games in right quick. But you know, that's it.
Somehow you said you weren't gonna comment, but you gotta talk about you again. You see how that worked?
I get it. I
Let's
get
see.
it.
All right,
I
let's
get
get
it.
back to
I
Pete.
get it. I get it.
So we- Let's get back to Pete's segment. I thought that's all we had here.
Listen,
But somehow I'm interviewing you now.
you did it again.
All right,
Talking
cool.
about what kind of hoop do you have? See, did he go to that? Don't worry
But
about the
I
hoop.
asked Pete though. You said you
Right,
weren't
right.
chiming in. Ain't that what he said?
True story.
He chimed in
True
somehow,
story.
some way. He had to let me know what kind of hoop he had.
Listen, we just talked about being a team and collective,
All right,
and
all right, cool.
showing love.
So
Next
you had,
question.
You had siblings? You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
got an older brother. You know, my older brother's out there. You know, so we're 7 years apart. You know, he was kind of like, because 7 years difference, he didn't want to hang with little bro. You know what I mean? So I had my own life, my own friends. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Childhood was cool, man. Like I know sometimes. There's a lot of strong people that come up out of poverty, and it's hard to break that, you know what I mean, to break that cycle. But, I was very fortunate. I was very blessed, man. I didn't, my parents worked hard. I had a great childhood.
Cool.
That's
So
dope.
let's go 9th grade, high school. What was your vision like as a 9th grader? Because I feel like high school is where you really starting to try to get a feel of okay, what am I doing? Because that's kind of like where I found music. So was that like where you found kind of like what you wanted to do for music, or where was you at, or you sports? Was your thing?
Yeah, I think sports in high school. You know, one of the things, and I'll even go back to my childhood, and I think it's important for me as a father that I do this for my kids. Like I was poured into a lot. You know what I mean? So I was told, I grew up believing I could do anything I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if I want to fly, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, and that comes from love. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I was never afraid to try things. Because I'm like, yo, I'll try it. Let's do it. If I'm good at it, I'm good at it.
Right.
So I did a lot in high school. I played football. I wrestled. You know, during that time, you know, that's where I'm still like recording music and stuff as like a 14-year-old. You know, discovering girls, you know what I mean, in the hood, you know what I mean.
That's a wonderful discovery.
Oh man, bro,
it's an amazing discovery, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I still like discovering. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
I'm still, you know,
it's a never ending saga.
How you feel about that, man? Chime in about that discovery. I know
about women.
In your heyday, you was a discoverer.
About women.
You was a discoverer.
Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I remember living on Carroll Street in the hood, man. I was 5 years old, and the lady across the street was short, light skinned. She had it all. And I was like, I like that. At 5.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Yo, listen.
The journey began.
Yo, listen. Mac had to be, I don't know if I ever told you this story. He had to be maybe 15, something like that. You know, I'm still a kid. I'm running behind him. And, you know, when Mac would come home from school, you know, I would see him, but he would bring girls. You know what I mean? Like his moms, you know what I mean, worked late. So like he was bringing chicks to the crib.
Yeah.
And it was one day we was outside playing and Mac came up to me and he grabbed his 2 fingers and put his fingers up to my face. He said, what do it smell like? I said, what? He said, what does it smell like? I said, I don't know. He was like, that's coochie, boy. Like, and I was like, oh, for real? You know what I mean? But like, yo, we was kids, man. We was kids. He was true story. True story.
You've been sniping a long time.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Legend.
The journey began.
Wakanda. Wakanda forever. Yeah. Wakanda forever out here.
It's about to guess, man. It's about to guess.
Yeah. That nigga's a Black Panther sniping.
Yo, for real. For real.
Oh, man.
All right, so we talk about, high school. Okay, so let me ask you this. As far as childhood, what was the most challenging thing you experienced as a kid, like far as challenging, you know what I'm saying? Was it, I know for me that first day of high school was like, man, I wonder what, you know, I'm coming out of 8th grade, like, you know, because me, I was horrible. I was a horrible kid, you know what I'm saying? So I got kicked out of mad school. So I remember having to get kicked out of Charles Granson Finney, which was, I was like you, I was going to private, you know, my mom and dad, you know, private school, you know what I'm saying? But I was wild, you know what I'm saying? So I got kicked out of there, I had to go to Bennett.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this is going to be, you know what I mean? This is different. And then when I went to Bennett, I lost my mind. I lost my absolute noodle.
The Bennett had the baddest chicks though.
Ever
they
in
had
life.
the baddest chicks.
Ever in life. That's why I lost my mind.
Yeah. It was
word.
a lot of cold joints.
I remember my father, this is how much I lost my mind. I remember my parents went to school for like parent teachers conference, and my typing class, they went to the typing teacher and it was like, he was like, we here for Ty Robinson. You know, we Ty Robinson's parents. So he looked at his books and was like, Ty Robinson? I never met him. I never went to type a day of my life. I would always skip that class because I would always be in the auditorium. It would be me, James Myrie, my man, Dave. We all be in there singing.
Yeah.
I would always skip typing and go to the and be on the piano playing singing. Because I knew a long time ago, school is a waste of time for me. I ain't want to do nothing with school. I wanted to sing early. I remember I used to just walk I would just go to school really for homeroom. You feel me? See who I wanted to court that day.
I'm here.
Looking like what? You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I mean? I throw my outfit on because I got to, be calculated.
How did you get through high school? Did you have to go to summer school?
I graduated through night school, Pete.
Did you? Yeah.
Day school, I got kicked out of there.
Yeah.
But to be honest though, you know, Bennett was serious with the females.
They had joints.
Man, I live right on Mercer. The same street as Ben. I was late every day.
Wow.
Every day. Never was on time. That was, high school it's like a blur. You know, I'm surprised I even made it through.
True story.
I don't even know how I made it through. But But yeah, so what was your
Yeah,
what was your most challenging?
I think high school, you know, for me, I've always had because again, I've always tried to fit in, you know, trying to fit in, you know, in worlds that I was kind of like partially in. So I know when I got to high school, I did a lot of fighting, you know what I mean, especially in a private school because you know it was I'm a smaller kid in stature to everyone. You know, there's not a lot of blacks there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
You just got picked on.
I think it was just more so like, yeah, me kind of making a stance of who I was. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you know, yeah, I'm the black kid, but like, y'all not gonna run over me. You know what I'm saying? Type thing.
Oh, so you was starting it.
I think I never backed down. That was part of my problem. I was, you know, my father was a big guy, but I came out short. So I've always had a big person's mentality. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I never, you know what I mean? Wouldn't back down from anything.
I remember Pete, he used to come across the street and he walked with his arms out. I was like, yo, who we think he is? He's like, yo, what up?
I always had a big person's mentality, man.
Listen,
being in the gym and
funny,
you know,
man.
yeah, for sure.
That was dope.
You know,
man.
but yeah, I guess in high school, you know, so I did a lot of that. I ended up sometimes there's another guy I do a credit, you know, for kind of helping me through high school because when I was having a lot of problems, they kind of had him mentor me. You guys know Milk Car Hill, DJ Milk. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like, you know, Milk. He and I went to high school together. He was a senior when I was a freshman. And because I was having some problems, you know, they kind of paired him with me. And, you know, he kind of taught me how to navigate, you know what I mean? In a different world.
Nice.
And like, you know, still try to be myself, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's kind of what got me through private school and also helps me navigate in professional environments and film sets and all that stuff. You know, he taught me a lot of lessons early. You know
Shout
what I
out
mean?
to DJ Milk.
For sure. I tell him that all the time. He saved my life.
So
That's
when
dope.
did music really become? Because you know we done collab made
Yeah.
a lot of records.
Yeah.
together. So when did music become like your vision? Like, okay, I'm gonna be a rap artist. I'm gonna do it. Like, when did that happen for you?
I think it was always a thing I was always struggling with because during that time, you know, it was like more like gangster rap, hood rap, you know, trap. A lot of stuff was, and I wasn't that, right? And I never tried to act like I was somebody I wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the thing was, I think I felt like my talent was good, you know, to rap, but I didn't have the image, you know, because I wasn't no, you know what I mean? No gangster like that. So I was always recording. And then I really got into it because as I was recording some records and I was also taking some acting classes and I was living in North Carolina. I was 20 years old at the time. And I had heard this radio commercial come on and it was an advertisement for this gospel play that was having audition. It was kind of like American Idol type thing. So I was just in the car and something came over me, said, yo, just go to this audition, right? So I go to this audition and long line out there. And when I finally get to the front, it's auditions for this gospel play, but it was written by Play from Kid and Play and Salt from Salt and Pepper.
Okay.
And so I got a chance to audition and I had some music with me. I performed a song. And because I was doing some acting lessons at the time, I had like a monologue that I did and I performed. And like my first job, like as a professional musician and actor, I was on a national tour, right? So it was like a blessing. It was like, so here I am, a 20-year-old kid. I'm on tour with like a lot of these hip hop legends, right? Like Play from Kid and Play, Salt from Salt and Pepper, Houdini. You know, there's like a lot of B-level actors during that time. Shar Jackson, who played Nisi on Moesha. Just a lot of talent, and like I'm a kid, but I'm immersed in this world. And at that time, so after we toured, I ended up, I was actually living in Salt's basement, her mom's house basement, and she was actually getting ready to do a gospel album.
Nice.
So I recorded some records. I wrote some records for her, and I was, signed to like a single deal with.
I remember that time. I remember us talking about that back then.
Yeah, I was signed to like a single deal with Salt's label, and I had wrote a couple records on her album, and at the time, so the tour was over, and I'm kind of just waiting for like this album to drop, and I feel like my life is gonna change, and The album never came out.
Ever happened.
Right, the album never came out, so I had 3 songs that I wrote on it, and then because her album never came out, they dropped all the other artists that was on that label, which was including me. So now I've stopped touring. I thought I wrote these records. My life is gonna change, and nothing happens. So I'm like, all right, what do I do? So I moved out of her mom's house, and I moved to Atlanta. And at that time, you know, some of the people I was on tour with. A guy named DJ Rogers, you know, DJ Rogers Jr., he wrote Summer Rain for Carl Thomas, you know, really, really talented artist. Okay. Right. And so I was kind of staying with him, jumping back and forth. And then I enrolled in film school. So I was kind of doing music, but I was like, you know, kind of focused. Acting was like still on the table, but I was like, okay, I still want to do this music thing. So I'm still recording, but I'm also taking acting classes, and I end up going to New York City, going to film school. And after film school, I decided to move back to Buffalo. When I moved back to Buffalo, now I've graduated film school. I've done this tour. I got all this experience, and I hook up with a close friend of mine, DJ Noodles, you know, during that time.
Yeah.
So now I'm back in Buffalo. Noodles is back in Buffalo, and Noodles has a show on a new station in Buffalo called Wild 101.
Nice.
And he's like the head DJ on there. He's like the programmer. And as we're recording, because now I'm focused on music again, he's producing. So he signs me to a production deal, right? So like I'm his artist, and he signs me to this production deal. But as a result,
Fix Your Face, right?
Fix Your Face music group,
that was dope.
You know.
Yeah.
But during that time, like, you know, we were taking advantage of the radio, because the radio was like our primary outlet, and like Noodles was the programmer. Yeah. So anything that I made, I could get played because he could do it. Yeah. Right. So I got a lot of exposure really, really fast because I had the radio outlet. Yeah. And it was cool, man. Like, you know, as a result of that, I got, you know, a chance to do a lot of shows. I did shows with John Legend. I had, because I was getting radio time, I had features from other artists that would want to work with me. You know, I ended up doing a lot of work with you guys, you know, during that time.
We made a lot of records, man.
Dope records, like dope records, man. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, music was great. It was a great chapter, you know, in my life. But I know for me, where it kind of came to a crossroads was, I still had my production deal with Noodles, but I had another label deal it was a single deal with this company called Phase One Records. They were out of New York City, and they had signed. I had a record with Lloyd called Internet Love, and they took this record, and the record did okay, and it was only for a single deal. But you know, when I signed with them, it was for a single deal, possibly for an album. So the single did okay, but they didn't renew it for another single. So now the label drops me. My manager at that time was a guy named Michael Newman. He was a radio head in the industry. Because I lost my deal, he drops me. Wow. And I got a baby on the way, right? Wow. So I'm like, yo, I gotta, it's crossroads, right?
So let me ask you this: what you think? Because for me, it sounded like that was the label fault. Like a lot of times, label just put you out with no promotion. Yeah. And you know, what do you think? Otherwise, was the reason why it didn't do numbers that it should have?
I think that during that time, you know, and this is I'm trying to remember the time frames. You know, I'm gonna say, you know, 2010, between 2010, 2015, music started changing, right? And you know, because music started changing, downloads and streams started becoming more popular, and people stopped listening to the radio, right? And when you are an artist that wasn't, you know, I'm not shooting nobody, I'm not killing nobody, I'm making records for, like, you know, the population and girls for the radio. Right. But what happens when people are no longer interested in the radio, right? So like now your record has nowhere to live. You know, it's not competing with the other street records that's out there. You know, keep in mind during that time, this is when mixtapes is out, DJ Drama. It's a lot of street music out. Right. Yeah. So the record didn't do well, you know what I mean? Because, you know, no one's really listening to radio right now. So, you know, I was at a crossroads and I'm like, man, like, you know, what do I do? I got this baby. You know, I no longer have a record deal. I no longer have a manager. And at that time,
So is that when film became that?
I had already been to school. I had already been trained for it.
Was it an instant transition, or did it take some time to get to the film?
So what I did was because I had this experience of being on stage with so you know, touring and doing that stuff, I was used to the stage.
Right.
So I didn't know anything about film. I was used to the stage. So, and now I've been trained, you know, as an actor for the stage and for the camera. So when I came back here and I lost my record deal, I immediately jumped into theater here in Buffalo. Buffalo is very rich in theater. We have like 19 local theaters here. And I started to explore that world. And it was a cool transition because as an artist, you know, as a music artist, you're used to being on stage and being in front of people. So for me doing theater, it was such a comfortable, natural thing. I took to it faster than most people would because I already was used to being on stage.
You already was a character.
That was it. I was already, and I was comfortable.
Yeah.
Most people get stage fright. You know, they don't know how to command a stage. I was already used to it. So theater was a great transition for me. And I worked nonstop in Buffalo theater. And, you know, as an artist, you know, as a writer and all those things,
Right.
you know, from a music artist, that stuff never goes anywhere. Like,
Right.
it, you know, it never dies. I
Right.
tell people all the time, like, you know, I don't think, even now, I don't consider myself as an actor per se. I'm an artist because when one medium goes away, you invest that energy into another medium,
Mhm.
right? Like the creativity never dies.
Absolutely.
Right. So like I was able to take this writing ability and this musical ability to translate it into, you know, looking at performance,
Mhm.
you know, and how to perfect my performance.
Right.
And then you know, you get to writing your own scripts, you get to writing your own projects and all that stuff. And that's just that creativity that never leaves. So, you know,
Okay.
after doing theater, you know, years and years of that, I had a friend that came to town. He was a guy I went to film school with. His name is John Abrahams. He was in Scary Movie and Meet the Fockers.
John
and
is cool.
Johnny, yeah, you met Johnny.
I like John.
You know, so he's been a good friend of mine, and he had the movie. He had money to shoot a movie, and he wanted to do it in Buffalo. And he kind of came to me and was like, "Yo, you know, I want you in my movie, and I also want you to help me cast this movie. You know, good actors know other good actors." And at that time, I was in the theater, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah.
And you know, so I got a chance to do his movie, which was my first film that I had really ever done on camera. And then you get the bug for it, right?
What was the name of that movie?
So it's I believe it's called it used to be called 2 for 1, but if you look on like IMDb now, it's called like All for One or something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
But that was like my first movie ever really being in. I got my SAG card off this movie, and then that's when the waves started to come. So Buffalo became attractive to like a lot of film companies.
Mhm.
So even though I started in the theater, now I'm making this transition. And when people heard that I was in this one film and I casted another, my phone just started to ring. You know what I mean? Other
Yeah.
producers that are coming to town, hey, you know, we heard that you helped out and can you help us? And I tell people all the time, like I got to where I was because of a networking,
Yeah.
right? Like
There you go.
networking,
Networking is key.
yo, for real. Like it's
Word.
you know,
Your network is your net worth.
if you're not around the people in that same industry
Right.
that can help you or that can help your career,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hanging with your friends, like I love hanging with my mans and them, and that's great. But like, you know, also it's got to be something of substance if we're going
Absolutely.
to continue this, you know, and work
Word.
together,
Word.
you know. So I look for people that work hard and all that stuff because you vibe off of one another,
That's a
right?
fact.
One project leads to another. And that's kind of how my career's been. I think that, you know, now I've probably, I'm over 35.
So, hold on, let me
yeah.
stop you right quick. Something just popped in my mind. We're gonna do a little segment called "Man, Talk Your S Word" because we don't cuss here.
Yeah, I got you.
So
I got you.
give me a little. Just name out some films you've been in. You know what I'm saying? Talk your stuff, man.
Okay, yeah.
Talk
I mean,
your
I
stuff,
do.
man.
I do a lot of television stuff, but you know, the bigger films. I was in The First Purge. I'm in, you know, Marshall. Those are two big theater, you know, movies that were at the theaters. I do a lot of like television stuff. So you see me a lot on holiday movies, Christmas movies, Lifetime thriller movies. I've booked
You did a movie with Michael Jai White.
I did a movie with Michael Jai White.
Come on, don't let me tell.
I've
I
done
know
some
your stuff, fam.
I've done some action films, some action. I think that what's really cool is like, as an actor, I've been able to challenge myself to kind of cross different genres. So I've done, right now I'm in this process. I'm really discovering comedy. So I did a movie with Robin Givens, and I'm doing comedy in it, right? That's going to be like my next really target market to shoot for.
Let's go.
But, I've done action, I've done some, of course, romantic comedy, I've done a lot of stuff, man. I've got a chance to work with some really great actors, again, Michael Jai White, Darren Henson, William Fichtner. I did a movie, like I said, directed by Robin Givens. Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, man. I mean, I've got a chance to work with like some big names.
That ain't light. That's heavy.
And it's just been a blessing, man. But even through it all, I think what's dope about it is that I get the chance to live out my dreams. And I'm still here. Like, I'm in Buffalo, man. Like, I'm a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got 2 kids. I get a chance to take my kids to school every day. And I know if I had relocated to New York or LA, my kids wouldn't have this type of lifestyle. It's LA is everything is expensive.
I know.
You ain't got no backyard. You know what I mean? It's a different life. New York, you know what I mean? Like it's a completely different life. And right. So I think that me living in Buffalo and choosing to stay here was a choice, because I was like, yo, I know I can do these other projects, especially if they're coming here. Right. I can build a good foundation off that living in Buffalo.
Now, how beneficial is it for you, with you being a casting director and the big films basically coming to you and you're in charge of it all? So it's just like you setting the tone for your work to be right in your backyard anyway.
You know what happens is that so a part of what I've done is, I've done a lot as an actor, but then I've also established this business as a casting director. And because it's good actors recognize other good actors, right? Like, what good acting is when you become that good actor. And I learned a lot by watching bad acting, right? When you watch bad acting, it's apparent, you know what I mean, of what not to do.
Talk about it.
Right? So like, as a casting director, what I do is, when a lot of the movies come in, it depends on what they're looking for. So sometimes they don't want to hire any locals, right? Or they maybe just want background. And what we do is, a part of my company, I have 3 partners. It was 3 of us total, and we all do different things. So like, I'm an actor, my other partner is a director, my other partner is a producer. So we sell our services as well as the casting, right? So like, I'll tell them ahead of time, like, yo, I'm an actor. If I see something that I would like or that I would fit, do you mind if I read? Now, the dope part about it is that you essentially, I think if I had an advantage as a casting director when you get these roles, is that I can sell them before they even see my tape, right? So in this world that we have of film, at one point in time before COVID hit, you used to be able to have a lot of one-on-one with the producer and the directors. If you get a call back, that's in person, right? Like, yo, now I get a chance to put my sauce on everything, and I get to sell you for who I am, that you want to work with me.
Right.
After COVID hit, there's no more of that, right? So now everything is like these self-tape auditions, but you lose the personal interaction.
Correct.
If I have anything, I've gained that personal interaction back, right? So like, when I'm talking to producers and I say, hey, do you mind if I read for a part? They immediately looking at me like, yeah, I like this guy. Maybe he could do it. And then all I got to, as long as I execute it and I know what they're looking for, you know what I'm saying? Then it makes those relationships easier to build, because now I've built that relationship with them. It's never a thing like, and I think that there's a misconception. There's never a thing like, as a casting director, people will be like, oh, you put yourself in the movie. You can't do that, right?
I'll be laughing all the time, because I'm like, I said, Pete, he the casting director. I said, he casting himself for all these roles.
And that's a stigma, right? It's like, yo, he's the casting director, he's putting himself in it. But, you can't do anything. Here's the thing, as a casting director, I still work for somebody.
Right.
I still work for the director. I still work for the producers, and nothing can't get done without their approval. So like, even now, as a casting director, we don't make any decisions.
Right.
the director makes all the decisions. All we do
Right.
is present the options. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I wish it was a situation where I could put myself in a movie all the time, but nah, it's not that. It's ultimately you need that director and producer to say, yeah, you know.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel you at where you want to be, or there's so much more that you want to put yourself in position to?
Oh yeah. So I feel like where I'm at right now and what I'm working on, and I could always, announce it here. But it's like after you've done a certain amount of movies, it's very easy to get stuck in this industry, right? Like you can get stuck. You can always be a working actor and never hit that next plateau, right? Like you can just be the guy that's, in a lot of movies, but nobody really knows.
Right.
And that's kind of where my career is living. Like I'm a working actor, but I haven't hit that next level. And in order to hit that next level, you got to create your own stuff, right? So what I'm working on, and this is now 15, 20 years of relationships in the industry, it's the feature film that I have to star in, that I surround myself with other notable figures as well, but I'm the lead star, right? That's how you get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And and you can't do it. It's got to be on a big scale, right? Like in order to be recognized as a leading man, right? You have to be a lead in a film that people recognize.
There you go.
Right? So even if it is like, hey, we're going to shoot our own film, if you're not investing in it and you're not making this film, because it's your piece, right? This is your statement piece. So for me, I'm already lining up investors. I already have commitments from name actors because that's got to be my next level. In order for me to hit that next plateau as a leading actor, I have to be in a movie that hits theaters as the lead.
Right.
So and that's a part of the plan. And in today's world, it's possible, right? Like back in the day, you couldn't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you were just that actor waiting for the next big call, you just waiting.
So let me ask you this. Now this is the Vision podcast. So let me ask you this. So what does vision mean to Pete? What is vision?
So I pride myself off that, right? Because you got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan in this industry. Like, I market myself, how I market myself right now, I'm a brand. I'm associated with a lot of different organizations. I have my casting business. I do some hosting work at the University of Buffalo. I'm a professor. I do all these things, but at the end of the day, Peter Johnson is a brand. And because I'm marketing myself in that way, that's a part of my vision. Like, and I purposely do it. I go to other artists, their social media page that I inspire to be like, right? And I mimic what they do. Because that's a part of vision, right? That's a part of like your imagery, and what people see of you is extremely important, right? And also like, I limit my interaction with people. It used to be a thing where like, when you were the it person, you want to be out and seen.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah, stay off the scene.
You got to stay off the scene now, right? So like, I don't go nowhere. I don't do nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like I want it to be a situation where when people say, "Oh, Peter Johnson, have you seen him lately? Have you talked to
You
him?"
want some
Not
mystique.
not like,
Because
"Oh, I
honestly-
talk to him, I see him all the
Because
time."
honestly, the mystique is gone with a lot of entertainers. And
For
actors.
sure.
That mystique was the thing that made us love Michael Jackson
Absolutely.
and Janet Jackson. Because you couldn't
Absolutely.
you could just see what they eating.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
See
right.
they at the mall.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just the access is just so granted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's
It's
dope.
so I do. I follow what other artists do, and whether it's a photo shoot or how they're marketing themselves, because that's you got to have a vision for your career and where you want to go. Right now, it's a thing like as we're doing it, but you got to have a plan on like what's next. This is cool, and that's how you continue. Like people are always like, "Yo, you always working," and that's because I don't sit for one job.
Yeah.
I'm on to the next all the time.
So if you can name 5 actors that you inspire by, who would they be?
So it's interesting, man. I follow the B and C actors as well, because those are the guys that I'm competing with right now. But when you talk about like guys that really inspire, like I think guys like and these are off-brand dudes, but these are dudes that I know get busy.
Yeah.
Right. Like one of my favorites is Delroy Lindo. And you know, if you guys don't know who Delroy, you got to look Delroy up. But Delroy, his most recent film, he was in what was the Spike Lee joint with Chadwick Boseman when they went back to Vietnam?
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
That was a good movie.
Yeah. Delroy's the dude in the jungle that's, you know what I mean, that's trying to survive. But he has a lot of good, you know, good solid roles. But you know, Delroy's not a star, right? But he's somebody that's a very strong actor. He's one of my mentors, you know, right now, Stephen McKinley Henderson. He's a dude from Buffalo, and that's Jamal's dad. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, like, I like guys. Here's the thing. So in this industry, it's like, if you are a film actor, it's a good chance that like you probably can't act, right? Because film is a different medium. It's like, yo, you know, I can do this take 50 times. I'm gonna get it right once, right? If we do it 50 times, I'm gonna get it right once. But guys that come from the stage, that know the craft and all that, it's a different animal, man. It's a different animal. Yeah. So Steven, you know, he comes from the theater. He's worked with Eddie Murphy. He's worked with, you know, Denzel. He's worked with Daniel Day-Lewis. These are guys that like at the top of the food chain, man, like that are excellent at their craft. And when you can be, you know, go toe to toe with those guys, it's dope. It's dope.
I tell you, every time I see Steve in a movie, I'm like, he has to have a dope agent.
You know what's interesting is that a lot of people call Steve. Like so he you know, I was with him last night. He's in this new he's in 2 projects right now. He's in it's a series on Netflix with Ted Danson. Okay. That he's in right now. They just got renewed for season 2. And he's in this other series on Netflix called The Madness with Coleman Domingo.
That was so dope. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, with Coleman Domingo. And Coleman is another one. He's like that theater world guy, but he's getting his just due right now. Like this dude is in everything. And like,
that was definitely dope. The Madness was
dope. And dude can go. You know what I mean? He's a very strong actor, you know.
Listen, I watched that series like 3 times.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like,
but they, you know, that's not something Steve's auditioning for. Coleman's calling him. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I need this guy for this.
That's phenomenal.
You know, and to be considered amongst those, you know, those elite actors, is dope, man. You know, so I don't know, man. My favorites are a little bit. I like guys that can really get busy on the, whether it's on the stage, and that can also like I probably consider myself more of like a Jamie Foxx, because although I'm not as comedic as Jamie, I feel like, you know, right now I'm doing comedy. That's a new thing for me. I can already do drama, you know, and Jamie can play like the old young dude.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the phase that I'm entering right now, because you're acting, you know, it changes. Like I'm no longer the college student.
And you got the music background.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of similarities there, man.
I got to give you your flowers, man. I'm, you know, seeing you transition from a young man to, you know, going to school, to, you know, going to private school, playing football, and then like you was rapping, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, he's really dope. He's good. You know, I went with a couple shows with you.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that man.
We opened up for Bobby Valentino. You came with me. Yeah, you came with me.
That was dope. Yeah. And then I remember you disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
And that's when you was gone. You went to school. You know, I didn't see you. I went to the movies. I seen a trailer. And I said,
yeah.
I said, that's not him.
Yeah.
And then I seen it again. I'm like, that was him. And then other people was telling me, yo, I seen your boy. I'm like, yo, yeah, that's dope. And then when you came back home, and then you got into theater, and you went to a couple plays. You was like, yo, Matt comes to the plays. I'm like, all right, cool. Because, you know, I never really seen you act. I never really seen you in films. And when I saw you, it definitely was believable. I was impressed. You played, I forget the name of the play, but you played a real angry, raged guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you started it off with you. And, you know, theater is definitely different because you have to pull every individual in that room onto the stage.
Right.
And you did that. And I was like, wow. And, you know, I was always interested in acting, but it's like when you did that, I was like, I don't think theater would be for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's very challenging.
Oh man, it's
You know
the
what I
hardest
mean?
thing. It's literally the hardest thing that actors can encounter. It's the hardest thing. It's nonstop being in character. It's knowing lines. It's knowing mannerisms. It's knowing blocking, and it ain't no cut. Ain't no like, yo, time out. It ain't none of that. You know what I mean? So it's the rawest form.
In theater, I saw something very interesting, right? I remember I went to a Tyler Perry play, and I guess somebody had forgot their lines. And Tyler Perry said, "Hold up, do that again." And he was like, "No, that ain't your line. Do it again. We're gonna do it." And I was just like,
Yeah.
"Wow." And I mean, they redid that whole scene until they got it right. But I'm just like, see, theater is a different animal.
It is, man. But here's the thing: it's also film is a different. Both of them have their specific, unique style
Absolutely.
of training,
Absolutely.
right? And film actors, some of the best ones have mastered like their face, they've mastered stillness. I tell students all the time, the camera will never lie to you. If you ugly, that camera gonna show you ugly. If your face is jumping, it's never gonna lie,
Right.
right? So like, how do you get good at it? You gotta practice.
Mhm.
I tell people all the time, like, acting is a muscle, right? Like, as a writer, you know what I mean? Like, the more you write, the better you get. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you starting to mix different words and syllables and all that stuff. The more you
Right.
do it, and acting is nothing short of that.
Yeah.
It's a muscle, bro. You got to really
That's a fact.
exercise that thing in order to get good, and you got to practice it. You
Mhm.
know?
That's a fact.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yeah,
a good,
man.
that's a good gem for the youngins that want to step into the field you in. You know what I mean? Take that in, youngins.
Yeah,
You know what I
no,
mean?
man. And not for nothing. It's possible. Like, I think that I'm at a stage right now, bro, in my life where like I feel like I'm and it's not even to say I'm humbled about it, but I can't even believe I'm living this.
Yeah.
I'm for real. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that my kids see it, my kids are in awe. Like, I was in the bank today, somebody asked me for an autograph, and it's really surreal. And I don't think that it never registers to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
right.
like I'm still hustling.
You still in it.
I'm still in it. I'm still trying to get to that next level.
still
But
in it.
you know,
You're still working hard as if you feel like you ain't making.
I think you got to be like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You got to be like
You gotta
that.
stay hungry.
Because once you content, I think you lost. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
And then you're gonna be disengaged. You ain't gonna. You know what I mean? So that's how I am. People be like, "Yo, man, what's the best song you ever written?" I ain't wrote it yet.
You know what's interesting
You know?
too is like when you see recording artists or you
Yeah.
see actors when they hit it and then they take a hiatus and you don't hear from them for a while.
Yeah.
And that kind of always I always wondered about that, because it's like, yo, do you really love it?
Right.
If you love it, you can't disappear from it.
Right.
Right.
Right? Like, if you love
Unless I'm gonna say this, because sometimes as a writer and an artist, to gain inspiration, you gotta live.
true
But
story.
See, because a lot of artists, I think, are guilty of just overdoing it and, and not taking it.
Oversaturating
and
themselves.
then their music, you can hear it. It sounds so repetitive because they ain't live.
I got you.
So like, I think you got to go through some life experience, especially when you're creative as far as the writing and being an artist. You got to live a little bit, so you got things to talk about.
I get that. I
You
get
know what I
that.
mean? So
I
I
get
think
that.
sometimes that got to do with the hiatus.
I
But I
get
definitely
that.
feel what you're saying. But I think that, because I know Justin Timberlake was one of those artists who would do an album, disappear for a couple years. Even Usher was doing that for a while. You know what I'm saying? But now we live in this era where everybody's, that everybody needs that
Instant gratification.
instant. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? So the mindset ain't like it used to be. An artist could drop an album and that album could live for a few years.
Yeah.
Now, no.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you gotta keep hitting, hitting.
And that's where
And
you
the
know.
music is suffering from that though.
Yeah.
Cause ain't no living going on. Ain't no
No.
experience. So if I gotta keep, I like Eric Bellinger and I hate to name names, but I gotta be, cause was one of my favorite artists. But when I listen to his music now, I'm like, yo, Eric, you need to go live a little bit, man.
Wow.
Cause
Okay.
the music is just,
It's repetitive.
It's
It's the
so
same. Yeah,
repetitive,
I got
man.
you. I got you.
but I know what he doing. He hot, so I gotta take advantage of this moment because moments don't live like they used to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I think. And even when we was doing music though, Todd, we was in the studio every day.
Every day. Word.
Every day, bro. And that's where I'm like, yo, okay, maybe you taking a hiatus, but like when you love it,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can stay
But
away from it.
I'm gonna tell you, and not trying to be cocky, but we was different from the aspect we could pull from so many different things.
Oh yeah.
See,
for
me
sure.
as a writer, I could pull from something Mac lived. I
Right.
could pull something from where you
Right,
live.
right,
My
right.
brother lived. You know what I'm saying? Some people can only write from what they personally going through.
Mm.
But I could pull from anything. I could pull from a sign, might say something on it, like true love.
Yeah.
I can go write a studio. I'm like, I'm gonna write a song called True. You know what I mean? I'm different like
Yeah,
that. You know,
yeah.
and I've been working that muscle. But so I could pull from. I could watch a movie and the song come from that.
Yeah.
I just my creative process is a little different, and I could tell that's how R. Kelly's process was. That's why he was so, you know what I'm saying? He was so boom, 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 you know what I mean? And he come up with Trapped in the Closet and 12 playing just different aspects. You be like, he was. I don't care what nobody say.
Genius.
I know he was peeing on people.
Genius.
But at the end of the day,
doubt. Yeah,
he
no
was
doubt.
he was immaculate.
Genius,
Minus the
man.
piss.
Yo, you know
that
what's
nigga was everything.
Yo,
man.
what's crazy is I remember seeing R. Kelly live. And it wasn't until I saw him live, yo, this dude was amazing vocalist.
I
He
mean,
was like,
fire. Hey,
yo, he was incredible vocally.
Hey, he was the guy.
But sometimes, especially like during especially those years at TP, when he was doing the sing rapping,
Yeah.
right? I didn't know he was that
You didn't
cold.
know, yeah, right.
You know what I
Oh, yeah,
mean?
he's a singer. He's a real singer.
Right.
But
He was amazing.
And then if you go through his catalog, and you just listen to all the different, and I pat him on the Max say all the time. He's like, man, you remind me. He's like, it's only two cats that I could.
His catalog, yeah.
His catalog was always important to me.
Bro,
His
you
catalog.
probably still have 1,000 unreleased records.
Facts.
I got him on my phone.
Facts. I got some on my phone now. I got to get the ones that he got in his phone in my phone. You know what I mean?
We gotta talk
But
about
word.
that. We
That's
gotta talk about
but I guess that's what my point is as well. Is like, yo, when you love it, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe these artists are not like, maybe Usher, he might take, the label and all that. We can't drop you too
But then you
soon.
can't forget this part too, Pete. A lot of these artists today they're not cut from the cloth that it's a
and they're
different. It's
workaholics,
different.
right?
It's different.
Right.
And on
You know what I
top
mean?
of that though, artists, their whole mindset is what's hot right now.
Right now. Let me chase right now.
And then it's just like, can you give me a record like that? Like they not
Right.
creative. And
It was a lot of that going on. And you know what, not for nothing, I think that's what got Griselda through, right? They never changed.
Never
they stayed the
changed.
same.
Them boys, listen.
March to the beat of their own drum. And you got to respect that.
When I tell you, like, yo, their music, 20 years, bro, when they was
Yeah.
back giving out, never changed.
Never
bro.
changed.
And I think that it was the trend caught up to them.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you what I learned in the 90s from when we was in New York and at all these labels and everything. The labels don't know what to do.
No.
So
right.
it's like if me and him had a label, we up under Sony. Sony's the umbrella for us. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get Pete. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pete, come run this segment of the company. You know what I'm saying? And that's what these companies do. And their only advice to them was, hey, find another rock. Find another Trash. You know what I'm saying? So that was their job. So if you didn't sound like Trash or you didn't sound like rock,
for sure.
you ain't getting no deal. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's just like they have failed so many talented people. And then when they get guys like y'all on a label, they don't know how to promote you. They don't know how to, you
I
understand
think
what I'm
the
saying?
days of the label is pretty much
it's
done,
dinosaur.
man.
It's
You know?
dinosaur.
I mean, they just stealing now. They raping people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Blindly though. From
So-
streams.
So, because it's getting to be wind down time. I got to get this last question in with Pete. So, what is your vision now, man? What does vision look like for you now? What's next?
Yeah, I got, and here's the thing. I love to share my future goals and all that stuff, man. So right now I'm in the process of creating this feature film. Like I said, I got some investors going. I got people that's already committed to the movie. So, I'm working on that between the next 12 to 15 months. My casting business is doing extremely well, right? We hold a convention every year called the Actors Expo. People come and they
That
get
was
all
dope,
active.
too.
Yeah, they get resources and all that stuff.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
That was dope.
So we, doing that, and eventually I'm also gonna open an acting school. So
That's phenomenal, man.
that's gonna be
Congratulations in advance.
yeah. That's kind of like the, I'm not ready to sit down yet. You know what I mean? Because I'm still out here chasing it. But when I am ready to sit down, yeah, the Peter Johnson School of Acting
Come on.
will
That's
come
dope,
shortly
man.
after
Vision,
that. No,
vision.
for sure.
Visionary.
So
Yeah,
listen,
man.
from the age of 15 to present, if given the opportunity along your journey, what would you change, if anything?
Oh man. You know what's interesting about that? I think that I've thought about that question so many times, but you know what? I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Amen.
I feel like everything I've had to go through to this point, I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Led you to the present.
I really, you know what I mean? Like at this point, it's you know, I'm always working, and yeah, we could get to the goals faster, but I feel like, you know, I've had to go through some personal trauma, you know, whether it was like, you know, I'm a single father. I've been through a divorce, a lot of things. But one thing that has stayed constant was my hustle for my career, right? So like, you know, you can't give 100% into everything. You know what I mean? Sometimes some things is going to fall short. And I fell short in some areas personally in my life, but my career, I feel like is going to get me there. And that's kind of been my constant. So I don't think I would change anything, man.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? Not for nothing, bro. I trust the process. I trust that I'm still gonna be aggressive. I'm still chasing it, and you know, I don't even know if I have a real end goal, because why do I want an end goal? I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Like I think that, you know, when we talked about other artists, so like maybe for music artists, they have to live to kind of create new material. But as a performer and as a producer and as an actor, yo, I'm always looking for the next opportunity, right? And like, I don't want to be one of those actors that like reaches success and then disappears. Why? Because I love it so much. I want to do this till I'm dead. I want to be the Morgan Freeman.
When you
Word.
do
The
what you
dude that's
love,
90 something, you know what I mean? Like for real.
It seemed like Morgan came in though. He always was old though. It seemed like he was 90.
Yo, did you see? Yo, listen. Last night at the Oscars, Morgan was like, I mean, yo, he got to be. He's late 80.
120.
Yo, and I was like, yo, you look at Joe Clark.
Yo, cause think about it. I know Morgan Freeman from the Electric Company.
For real,
You
bro.
heard?
For real.
He was
for real.
old then, man. Let's keep it
you say he was 59
he was
back then.
45 on the Electric Company.
Yo.
He was 59
Yo.
back then.
And 79,
Yo, you go
80, he was 45, man.
go back and watch Glory, man. He old in Glory, bro.
Yo, he's never been young, ever.
Listen, I think, did he look young in Shank Show?
No, that nigga
No.
never looked young,
No.
man.
He always looked like Joe Clark.
Always.
Always, bro. He has.
So I'm just saying, how old is he, man?
He definitely late 80s. But here's the thing, Morgan's still getting busy, bro.
Still getting
He
rocking.
does it. That voice work is his thing. You know what I mean? He'll still get up
He
there,
rocking.
but you know, I just think that when you love something, you know what I mean, so much, man. Like, yo, it's not work.
It ain't.
When-
It
that's
ain't
what they
work.
say. When you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
It ain't work.
It ain't, man. So, your socials, man. Where can people?
Oh,
find
no
you?
doubt, no doubt. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Traz9, Facebook at Traz Johnson. You can follow the casting company if people want to get in some movies. You know what I mean? See what's going on. You can follow at Casting Buffalo. I got an internship right now that's popping for young career artists of color. So if they're looking to get in the theater or anything like that, you know what I
told you
mean?
about my son, so I gotta.
Man, listen, I'm telling you.
word,
I'm telling
word.
you. You know, people can go to my website, peterjohnsontheactor.com.
Okay.
You know, you can view all my materials, sign up for my internships, you know what I mean? All that stuff.
Basically, that nigga's all over the net.
Let's
Get with
go.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, man.
Get with him.
Yeah. Listen, I want to tell you, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate you guys just creating a forum. You know what I mean? Like, and
Thank
not
you,
for
man.
nothing.
It's important.
I can't tell you when was the last time I was just able to kick it,
Man.
right? Just to
I'm-
kick it.
That's what we here for,
That's what we
man.
No,
here
for
man.
real.
But you can be yourself, man. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate the platform, man.
Word.
It's not that often do you get a chance to come in and sit with some guys and be comfortable, guys you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also, you know, people get nuggets from it. You know what I mean?
Word.
People
At the
learn
same
from
Absolutely,
time.
man.
You know?
Word.
So I appreciate y'all, fam.
I appreciate you, man. It was a pleasure, man.
Thank you for your
And
time.
we probably gonna do it again because I know you're gonna be doing more things.
Oh,
You're gonna do it
absolutely.
again, you know what I
Man,
mean?
we got, listen, right now, I told people I'm doing every interview, I'm doing every podcast, I'm
Yeah.
shaking every hand,
Man.
you
all-
know?
all
So,
that.
yeah.
Let's go.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Socials Mac, so the people, you know what I mean?
Mr. Hollywood Mac on Instagram, Division Podcast 24 on TikTok. You know, that's where I live. Be your own hero.
All right, yeah. TylerMurray.com, you know, everything is the website. ToddLamar.com. New album dropping the 26th. Ballads for the Kingdom 2. Man, if you love good music, God music, man, it's what you want. It's what you need. It's what you need, man. It's the music to live to. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
That's what it is, man. So, man, I appreciate everybody out there for following the Vision Podcast, man, and showing us love out. We getting a lot of love out here, Mac. You know what I mean?
That's
The
it.
subscribers is growing. Listen, press that subscribe button and share, man. It don't cost nothing to share and subscribe, man.
And
You heard?
comment. Say something.
Say
True
something.
story.
Don't just be looking, man. You heard? I know we nice looking, but you know, say something.
Right.
Facts. Peace
Word.
and love, y'all.
Peace.